This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. Fresh off a haircut. Tell me if you like it. I don't know if I do, to be honest. Former credentialed journalist in the LA area. Spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin. And now in year two, not one, but two, with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Well, our team, it's the Halos. And today, a very confusing, frustrating one, in my opinion. Was the starter, Jose Soriano, perfect? No, but he was above average. Was the lineup perfect? Certainly no, but was it as bad as it normally is? No. But one thing is certain. The bullpen stinks, man. The bullpen stinks. And it costs us again today. Blows a huge opportunity. Fresh off that high of yesterday's thrilling Jorge Soler walk-off. Fresh off now 2 wins in a row. And then in this game, fresh off a early 4-0 lead through the first 2 innings. And the bullpen, and Ron Washington a little bit, they cost us, and they blow the ball game. Before we jump into this one, shout out, as always, to everybody in here. A lot of the familiar faces that I love. Larry, Vinny, Angel, Vicky, Roman, TFL, Christopher, NZGSW, Jadon, TFL, Nathan, and everyone else in here. I feel like Drake and on Nokia. Is it Larry? Is it Vicky? Is it Angel? Is it TFL? Okay, that was awful. You need a bad joke to cheer you up, because the Angels, they lost, and it would have been nice if they won this ball game. Really felt like they could have won this ball game, jumping up to a 4-0 lead. And again, they blew it. And so I'm going to, for once, not do the turning point. For once, not do the player of the game. I'm going to do.
This is what you'll be talking about.
What the heck will I be talking about? I'll be talking about the bullpen. You see the question right there on today's show. Was Ron wrong? I always struggle to say anything with Ron Washington. Was Ron wrong? Or does the bullpen just suck? Or both? Yes, both. And there's been plenty of talk about the decisions Ron Washington has made. Even in a win. Yesterday, right? I spent half of the episode ranting about Reed Detmers, who has been absolutely atrocious, right? I think the stat that the Super Halo Bros, the Frisch Bros, John and Mike on the Daily Show today said, I think Reed Detmers has given up like 11 runs or something in a third of an inning in his last 3 starts, I believe. Like, he literally has recorded 1 out in the 12 batters he's faced and given up 11 runs, something like that. Crazy. Okay, so you heard me in yesterday's show, absolutely losing it, even after a thrilling walk-off by Jorge Soler, ranting about Reed Detmers. He did it 2 games in a row, right? And there's 2 aspects. Again, you know me. At this point, it's becoming a meme. I'm Mr. Nuance, right? I'm Mr. There's 2 sides to every story. Ron Washington chooses to put in Reed Detmers. What was his justification? Well, we felt like this was an opportunity for him to turn things around. Horrible justification. Let's pick the guy who's struggling and pick a close game when we really need a win and say this is the time we're going to throw him in to try to get his confidence back. Boneheaded. But at the end of the day, it would be nice if a single reliever got a thing done for this team, right? In recent days, it hasn't happened. Whether it's Reed Detmers, whether it is Ryan Johnson, whether it is Kenley Jansen absolutely blowing up a save, right? Whether it's Fermin or Brogdon or whoever the heck is in this bullpen right now, no one's getting it done. So there's nuance. Well, today there doesn't need to be nuance because it's simple. Ron Washington makes a bonehead decision. He takes out Jose Soriano too early, and it was a confusing start for Jose Soriano. We'll get to that, right? We will get to that because it was a confusing one. 5 innings. He gave up 8 hits. He walked 4, 12 base runners. It felt like the bases were loaded every time he was on the mound. Even though he got out of a bases-loaded jam in the first inning, he put plenty of guys on base the rest of his start. And yet, despite that, only at 90 pitches through 5 innings. The guy is young. All right. Again, on the Daily Show, they had a darn high school baseball coach on to talk, or manager, to talk about his mindset with starters and relievers and managing the bullpen and everything. And the simple answer, right, that he said, and that a lot of us are thinking, is when your bullpen is as bad as ours is, even if the starter is slowing down a bit, and someone said it on yesterday's show in the comment section, they're exactly right. They said 80% Kikuchi, right, is better than 100% Detmers. And that's how I felt about this game as well. You know, it was kind of an 80 or 90% Soriano to begin with. He just didn't really fully have his stuff. So if he's 90 pitches in, maybe it's a 75% Soriano. A B minus Soriano is still a whole lot better than this bullpen. It still is. He'd only pitched 5 innings. It's a close game. Ron, why are you so afraid of having a single pitcher get into the mid to high 90s in a start? The guy is, well, he's stretched out by now. He's only 26. He's trying to improve his ERA. He's trying to, and once again, if Soriano comes in, just like I said yesterday with Kikuchi, if he comes in and immediately gives up 2 base runners, well, you can say, okay, and especially with how this start is and how Soriano's starts have been, right? If Soriano comes in and gives up a base hit or 2 or walks a guy right away, fine. Take him out. But give him the opportunity. Give him the opportunity. Okay, sure. What if the reliever, our relievers are so bad, we want them to come in with the bases empty. I understand that argument. But man, it doesn't matter if they come in with the bases empty or the bases full. They're giving up runs. They're giving up runs. And as we saw in this 6th inning, even when Ryan Johnson comes in and loads the bases immediately and comes out, guess what happens? Brock Burke has to come in with the bases juiced anyway. So even when you're trying to protect your relievers from having to pitch in difficult situations and come in ideal moments, they have to do it anyways. Because whether it's Soriano loading the bases or Ryan Johnson, Brock Burke is coming in with guys on base. So you might as well give Soriano a chance to lock him down because I trust him more. I trust him more. And so Ron got it wrong. He did. He did. And again, this is a results-based world, the sports world. And even when there's some logic to a decision you make, if you are consistently wrong every single time, and it's getting to a point where every single time Ron Washington makes a big decision about when to take out the starter, he's always taken the starter out too early, and the relievers are almost always blowing it. So don't piss on me and say it's raining. You are making the wrong decision each time. You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling anybody. Okay? So Ron Washington got it wrong. He did. But there's no nuance. We can also just say the bullpen also blows, man. It stinks. I mean, just like Detmers comes in and doesn't get a single out, right? Each time he starts. I mean, Ryan Johnson, yes, was the base hit that he gave up the second at bat of the top of the 6th, was it a horrible pitch? No. Or excuse me, I'm blanking on which, the first at bat. He throws a sweeper on 0-1, down and away, not a terrible pitch, and Nathan Lukes just hits he has a really nice swing. A ball outside the zone, 102.6 exit velo. That's impressive. But how does Ryan Johnson respond? He walks Bo Bichette, and sure, it was a 3-2 count, but only one of the pitches was even in the zone. Bo Bichette gave him a couple gifts, walks him, and then Vladdy, who has been killing us, Vladdy comes in, 0-1 cutter. Again, not a terrible pitch, and it certainly wasn't hit hard at all. But you don't even record an out. Again, just like Detmers, Ryan Johnson, who's supposed to be the best reliever we have right now, other than Kenley Jansen. That's how depleted and defeated and injured this bullpen is, right? With no Ryan Johnson, with no Bachman, with Zephyr John not playing well, with Detmers playing awful, with Brock Burke being awful, right? And so a reward for surviving 3 horrible at-bats from Ryan Johnson is, let's bring in Brock Burke with the bases loaded. And he wastes no time. Boom, instant. Sinker outside corner, but way higher than he would like. Santander rips it, line drive to left field. base hit, and it's 5-4. Your 4-2 lead is now 5-4. Excuse me, not just Bichette scores, Luke scores, and Bichette scores. It's 5-4. But once again, I get it. You came in a rough situation, and you gave up a base hit. But then how do you respond? Well, how about responding with another 3-2 at bat where none of the pitches outside of one are even in the zone, and Springer gives you a gift swinging at a couple, but you walk him. Sounds familiar? Yeah, Ryan Johnson just did it earlier in this inning. So then Dalton Varsho comes up with the bases juiced, 1 out, and the ironic thing is it's a horrible inning for the bullpen. It could have been worse. Varsho only hits a sac fly. He hits one 364. If it's 384, the ball game is over. You intentionally walk Kirk, and then you get a crazy play where there's a ground out. Shawnuel throws it home to Ohapi, gets him out. Ohapi tries to make the play at first. It's a throwing error, not at all where you want to be. Threw it down the line when Shawnuel was trying to get, inside of the base runner. Allows the run to score there. So everything went wrong in the bottom of the 6th or top of the 6th. You give up 4. You probably should have given a lot more. Ron got it wrong. The bullpen got it awfully wrong. Multiple guys. And Ohapi got it wrong on the throw. So just a disastrous 6th inning. You turn a 4-2 lead into, you turn a 4-2 lead into a 6-4 deficit. I can't even talk right now. You turn a 4-3 lead into a 8-4 deficit. I can't talk. An 8-4 deficit. I can't do math. No, a 7-4 deficit. Oh my God, I'm losing it. My apologies. It was 7-4. It was 7-4 because then we had a solo shot and the Blue Jays scored a run as well. So apologies for the brain fart there, but yes, 7-4. And at that point, I'm sorry. The Angels, they gave you something in the bottom of the 7th, but other than that, they didn't even try, man. The reliever came in for the Blue Jays, and he just mowed through the lineup. We'll get to that after our break because we'll talk about the lineup, and you guessed it, another baker's dozen, 13 strikeouts. We'll get to that after our break here. The moral of the story is, man, we suck in the late innings in terms of pitching and managerial decisions. We'll take the break, and when we come back, we'll talk about this darn lineup and why I'm saying, and we're all saying, we have a toxic relationship with this lineup. I'll tell you about that after the break here on what? The Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. 3 hours today, so buckle up. Get the supplies you need with Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trade, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. My Warriors, they did not get it done tonight. My Clippers, they have been out for about a week or so, and it still hurts. But the playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. And boy, oh boy, that's true. The NBA playoffs have been phenomenal. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live after tip-off. Whether player props or with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trends help you build your next bet? What would it look like to combine live props mid-game based on how the action unfolds? If you've got a read on who's heating up, why not back it with the same game parlay? How could a $200 in bonus bets add to the excitement if your first $5 bet hits? Well, those are all valid questions, and FanDuel's got all the answers. So if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. And today's show is finally brought to you by wonderful pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I love the no-shells variety. I go to the gym every morning from 6 a.m. to 7:30, and when I get home, I have time for is to shower, get changed, and get my butt on the freeway headed to Inglewood and the Intuit Dome. So whether I'm in the car on the way there or whether I'm at my desk right when I arrive, I need that post-workout protein, and the no-shells variety. It's a perfect quick protein boost. If you love cracking open shells, well, then the in-shell option, of course, is a classic favorite. So get snacking and cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Back here live on a losing edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'm Gavin Carlson. The Angels fall 8-5. Had an opportunity to have a perfect series against the Blue Jays. I predicted a series win. We still got it, but we had the opportunity for the sweep. Unfortunately, our bullpen, it did not come through, and it usually doesn't. Now, on the thumbnail, you already saw it. It says worst bullpen in the MLB, and I'm standing by that. Coming into tonight, the second worst bullpen ERA at 7.01. The only worst ERA from a bullpen, the Nationals at 7.22. But let's add some context to that, right? The Angels have a higher whip, slightly, 1.75 compared to 1.73 for the Nats. They've given up 24 home runs to just 15 for the Nats. 24 home runs. They've given up more hits as well, 148. The only thing they have less of is the earned runs, 89 compared to 100, right? So the numbers should really show the bullpen might even be getting bailed out. You have given up 9 more home runs. They've given up the most home runs of any bullpen in Major League Baseball. I mean, that's crazy. The most bullpen or home runs of any team in Major League Baseball. One of the highest whips, and I'm looking. Yep, you guessed it. The highest whip in Major League Baseball as well. The third most runs, the third most hits, and they also only have 9 saves. So doing nothing. By far the worst bullpen in the AL, and it's not even close. The next worst is the Orioles with 5.36. We're at 7.01, guys. 7.01, right? And the third, it's just, I'm not even going to get into it. But again, backing up my statement there that it's the worst. And yes, Ben Joyce. And right now it's the worst by far, because those stats don't reflect the fact that, our best players in the bullpen aren't even here right now, right? Ben Joyce is gone. I would love to see Bachman pitching, and Kenley Jansen's pitching horribly right now. So the bullpen's actually even worse than what it was at the beginning of the season, and those numbers count for the whole season, right? So the bullpen couldn't be any worse, and it is infuriating. Locked On losing again. Oh, man. Brutal. Oh, man. Talk about brutal. We'll get to something brutal. It's the toxic relationship that I and probably all of us have with this lineup, because the second you want to praise anybody, or even the second you want to rip on anybody, things always flip in the opposite direction, right? Taylor Ward, we're so done with him. We've been ready to break up with him, right? Ready to break up with him. Starts it off with a 2-run shot in the first inning. You're like, you know what, Taylor Ward? I knew you had some hard exit velos that weren't resulting in hits. Sure, you take a lot of strike threes looking in huge moments, but every once in a while you give us the home run. Your OPS is still over 600 despite the abysmal 1.81 ERA. And sure, being over 600 isn't anything to write home about. But, maybe we're not ready to cut you just yet. But then what does he do from there after that? He goes 0 for 4 with a strikeout, one in the big moment, right? So infuriating there. Jorge Soler, you're the hero. What are you going to do today? 1 for 4. Zach Neto, even him. Just kidding. Zach Neto's always clutch. 2 for 5, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts is not happy, but I can't complain about that. Nolan Shawna will 2 for 4. You'll take that, right? Logan O'Hoppe, he goes 1 for 3, but he strikes out. Yohan Moncada, talk about toxic relationship. Really been feeling good about you. Back-to-back games with a home run in this series. Well, how about the 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts? Kyron Paris, he hits a big home run. He has a big walk in the 9th yesterday. Maybe is he back? How about 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, right? So that's what I mean about toxic relationship. Joe Adell hits a solo shot, but other than that, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So again, just toxic stuff everywhere with this team. Another 13 strikeouts, only 1 walk. 13 strikeouts, 1 walk. So the second you're thinking, hey, this team is throwing together a couple games where the lineup's been impressive. Even in this one, 9 hits, 5 runs. That's not that crazy, but for the Angels, that's pretty darn good. They score 5 runs every 3 weeks. Right? But too bad. You strike out 13 times. You have a walk, just 1 walk. And even though you got some runners on base, 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, you leave 7 on base, you strike out 13 times. You're never having productive outs, and you're not going to win the baseball game. And so, sure, You scored 4 runs early, but after that, you did nothing until it really felt like the game was over. And talk about ending the game with an absolute dud. Rodriguez comes in, gives up 1 hit, strikes out 5 of the 6 outs. Green comes in, strikes out 2 of the 3 outs. So the second it feels like it's over, unless we've got a crazy walk-off like yesterday, man, we just lay an egg. We don't even get our bat on the ball. And that's what's very, very frustrating. Now, don't have much time to talk about the Soriano start. I feel like I already talked about it. So in case you missed it, he came out in the top of the first inning, gives up 3 straight singles. Honestly, 2 of them weren't even on bad pitches, but you give up 3 straight singles, and then you get 3 straight strikeouts to get out of it. And I'm thinking, oh, man, this guy, he fights with fire, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But then what does he do? Top of the second, he gives up a hit. That's fine. But the top of the third inning is when the wheels fall off for him. Leadoff single to Vlad, then gives up a wild pitch. Sure, he gets a strikeout, but then it's a walk to Springer, which if there's an inning where Soriano has both a base hit and a walk, it usually doesn't end well because it means the control is actually genuinely off and it wasn't just 1 hit, right? So right after that, Dalton Varsho, he rips a double down the line. First pitch gets a fastball right down the middle. And then Alejandro Kirk able to punch in another run on the productive out, the ground out. God forbid we know what a productive out is, right? So unfortunately gives up 2 runs there in the third. He did get some help in this game a couple times. Forgot to mention that Joe Adell got robbed of a home run, basically, on a very impressive catch by Anthony Santander. But then in the top of the 5th, again, like I said, when it's walks and singles, that's when you know it's bad. Gives up a walk to Springer in the top of the 5th, then a walk or a base hit to Dalton Varsho. He gets bailed out with a line out double play, but then still gives up the big single to Barger that scores the 3rd run of the ball game. And then in the top of the 6th, we know what happened. The bullpen came in and the game was over. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. Whether it is Nathan saying hilarious things like locked on last place, or should we say locked into last place, but also kind comments like Primetime21 saying, appreciate your work, Gavin, even through the losses. I appreciate all of you guys. Larry, this is hilarious. Glad you aren't doing Monarch Money today. Don't need a reminder that I waste my money on Angels season tickets. That's hilarious. But yeah, shout out to everybody in here. As always, it's a Thursday night. You could be doing a lot of things, but you're in here leaving your thoughts, listening to mine. Really, really, really appreciate it as always. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'll be back here tomorrow night as always. Still a positive series with how bad the Angels are playing. Anytime you can win a series, you will absolutely freaking take it. And now we have an interesting one against the Baltimore Orioles team that we know how talented they are. We've got them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but they're underperforming right now. Their bullpen, it's going to be a battle of brutal bullpens, right? Theirs is the only one that's even remotely as bad as ours in the AL. And so we'll see. They've got the starting pitcher advantage. Soriano against Hendricks. He's got a 3 ERA. He's 3-2. Hendricks 1-3 with a 5.28 ERA, but he's been very up and down. I could see a scenario where Hendricks comes in and absolutely lights up the Orioles. There's also a scenario where he gets lit up. But we'll get Hendricks tomorrow. You'll see me tomorrow night, as always. Show's going to be around 9:30, as always. So looking forward to it. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. But for now, have a great rest of your Thursday. And as always, go Angels. Take care.